Survivors of the Carrolton bus crash 5 years later at 11.
It's been 5 years now since the Carrolton bus crash. Good evening, I'm Jim Watkins.
And I'm Norma Rashid. At 11, we'll show you how survivors are recovering from what is still considered the worst drunk driving accident in the nation.
Also, domestic violence accusations, a firing, and an arrest are added to the complicated Springdale scandal. We'll have the latest.
And what if your insurance company paid for only 1 day of hospitalization following the birth of your child? All this and more coming up at 11 on News 5 tonight.
After the glitter and glitz of tonight's birthday celebration, Bob Hope chats with Norma Rashid.
One of the biggest thrills of my life is that I was in Japan, and a kid walked up to me in a uniform and he said, "Bob Hope House." I wanted to kiss him.
You'll learn more about Hope's amazing Cincinnati connection and...
When everything is all said and done, what do you want to be remembered for most?
Golf.
Ah, there's more, but that's at 11, as News 5 says, thanks for the memories.
Victoria Chrysler finally tells her side of the story. I'm Norma Rashid.
And I'm Jim Watkins at 11. Hear from the woman who claims she was raped by a group of Cincinnati Bengals. Also tonight.
It was 5 years ago tonight that it happened. 27 people died in a fiery bus crash near Carrolton, Kentucky. I'm Marty Perrette. I was on the scene 5 years ago. Tonight on News 5 at 11, we'll look back on the nation's worst drunk driving accident ever.
And my conversation with Bob Hope at 11. Good evening, I'm Norma Rashid.
And I'm Jim Watkins. Victoria Chrysler goes public for the first time since the rape case ended. You'll hear her side of the story.
An insurance company gives new mothers a 24-hour notice to check out.
You'll hear the survivor story of the worst drunk driving accident on record.
And an exclusive interview with Bob Hope coming up next.
WLWT Channel 5, Cincinnati's 24-hour news channel. This is News 5 tonight.
There's nights and days that I sometimes think, my God, I'm 36 years old. I hope I don't live to be 80 or 85 or 70 and sometimes 60 or 50, because it's too long. It's too long of a wait.
The woman who says she was gang raped by a group of Cincinnati Bengals speaks out for the first time tonight. Good evening, I'm Jim Watkins.
And I'm Norma Rashid. The civil case might be behind her, but Victoria Chrysler says she'll never forget the painful memories of that October night over 2.5 years ago. The night she claims 19 players from the 1990 Bengals raped her or watched the rape take place inside this hotel. Just last month, a jury decided that a document signed by Chrysler prevented her from going ahead with a civil lawsuit against her alleged attackers. Tonight, for the first time, Chrysler tells her story.
I don't believe I'll ever get over this. I'm 36 years old. It happened when I was 33, and it's alive and well inside me as it was the night that it happened. And I pray that in time it eases up and it gets better, but I'll die with this. I'll go the rest of my life with this.
Attorneys for the Bengals as well as the players have said all along a rape never occurred. Despite that, a new lawsuit has been filed against the team and players on behalf of her children because Chrysler says she's now unfit to care for them.
Well, still more developments today in the Springdale sex scandal. Beth Burkett, the city official at the center of it all, lost her job and her husband went to jail. Pick it up in court this morning where Mark Burkett was arraigned on a charge of domestic violence. His estranged wife says he threatened to kill her. It was Mark Burkett who shot this videotape of Beth, a deputy city administrator at the time, kissing Springdale cop Michael Keys. Mark Burkett's lawyer says this is her revenge for the surveillance.
Obviously, that videotape is now proven to be extraordinarily incriminating to her, and I think she's paying him back by swearing out a frivolous domestic violence complaint and forcing him to spend the night in jail.
Beth Burkett had been demoted for the affair. Today she was fired. She says it's all because she refused the advances of Springdale Mayor Ron Pittman, whom she's likely to sue for sexual harassment. And the legal quagmire doesn't end there. Michael Keys, the policeman Burkett was with on the videotape, has also filed a federal lawsuit. He claims invasion of privacy.
The Cincinnati police officer who fatally shot fellow officer Darnell Mansour is now off the job, at least for now. Officer Robert Wright was suspended without pay today, pending a hearing before City Safety Director Bill Gustafson. Earlier this week, Wright admitted to playing with the gun that accidentally fired, killing Mansour. Wright is charged with negligent homicide. Kenton County's top elected official says he's done nothing wrong, but the state's investigating whether he broke campaign finance laws. It's looking into why Clyde Middleton failed to report money raised at a 1989 party at this Taylor Mill restaurant. A complaint filed by a political enemy says that's against the rules.
All I know is what was in our minutes, and it said that we had a rally, that it was going to cost $10. That was going to cover the cost of food and drink.
But the restaurant's owner has told News 5's Steve Forrest he provided the food for free and kept the money from a cash bar. The state also is looking into whether Middleton broke the law by using builder Ralph Dree's office phones for a campaign phone bank.
The man convicted of raping a woman who asked him to use a condom received his punishment today. An Austin, Texas jury sentenced 28-year-old Joel Valdez to 40 years in jail. He could have gotten a life sentence. Valdez will be eligible for parole after serving about 10 years. Now, overseas, 6 children and their teacher are spending a second night as hostages inside a French nursery school. Police have sealed off a street behind the school where the gunman remains holed up inside.